Going through an entire listing cycle, keeping the house perfectly clean, and leaving every weekend without getting an acceptable offer is exhausting. Now that you're relisting, you face a specific hurdle. Buyers touring the property often carry a hidden hesitation, wondering why the home didn't sell the first time around. The standard advice you'll hear in this scenario is to cut the asking price until you force a sale. A flat price cut is a blunt instrument. It permanently erodes your equity and often fails to address the actual barrier keeping a buyer from making an offer. Instead of giving up equity, deploy targeted seller concessions. These are surgical tools used to eliminate the exact friction holding a buyer back. This diagram shows the difference. Column A's flat $15,000 price drop instantly erases your proceeds. Column B's targeted concession protects your asking price, using a fraction of those funds to solve buyer problems. This requires expert curation so you don't appear desperate. Every buyer has a different hurdle. One person might love the property but feels stuck on a single financial or logistical detail. Whether the issue is interest rates, a lack of upfront cash, or anxiety about the home's condition determines which lever we pull. Protecting your remaining equity requires diagnosing that specific hesitation rather than defaulting to a passive price drop. Let's look at the first major friction profile, the rate-shocked buyer. They want your home, but they are paralyzed by current mortgage rates. You can fund a temporary rate buydown, where you set aside money in an escrow account that lowers their effective interest rate for the first 2 years of the loan. This chart compares the costs. The left bar is your out-of-pocket cost to fund the buydown. The tall right bar is the full price cut required to give the buyer that same monthly payment reduction. This improves their cash flow immediately. For a more permanent solution, you can pay discount points to lower their interest rate for the entire life of the loan. Financing incentives cure the buyer's affordability panic while saving you thousands in equity that would otherwise be lost to a price cut. The second profile is the cash-constrained buyer. They can afford the monthly payment, but they are short on the liquid cash needed to close. Offering direct credits toward their closing costs or prepaying HOA fees provides immediate relief at the signing table. We also navigate the 2024 industry settlement regarding buyer's agent commissions. This is now a concession negotiated directly in the purchase contract. Many sellers still choose to cover this fee because it keeps the pool of buyers who can afford representation much wider. We can also offer moving expense reimbursements, which are highly effective for buyers relocating from out of state. This strategy is particularly relevant for the Tucson military relocation market and families transferring to Davis-Monthan. Strategic cash credits remove the upfront financial wall that prevents qualified buyers from submitting an offer. Let's examine the third profile, the anxious buyer. Because the home was previously relisted, they are actively looking for hidden flaws. We counter that doubt by conducting a pre-listing inspection and addressing issues up front, which removes surprises during the buyer's inspection period. If minor repairs are needed, a dollar credit allows the buyer to handle the work on their own terms after closing. Transferring existing warranties on the roof or HVAC, or providing a 1-year home warranty, neutralizes risk for a cautious buyer. Investing in these condition builders rebuilds market trust more effectively than simply lowering the price. Sometimes friction is purely logistical, like rigid moving timelines or expiring leases. Accommodating a flexible closing date or offering a post-close rent back can secure a deal with a buyer juggling a complex timeline. Including major appliances or smart home devices reduces the buyer's immediate costs upon move-in. We can also offer energy efficiency credits for insulation or HVAC upgrades, which speaks directly to a Tucson buyer's concerns about summer cooling costs. Offering logistical flexibility and upgrade value can secure an offer by solving the buyer's life circumstances without touching the listing price. This toolkit is powerful, but it requires a careful approach. You should not advertise every single one of these incentives on your listing to buyers to push for even deeper discounts. The best strategy is to hold these incentives in reserve, using them as negotiation chips to counter low offers. Publicly offering these credits before you have a contract in hand gives away your bargaining power before the negotiation even begins. Our goal is strategic curation. We select only the 2 or 3 exact levers that fit your home and your timeline. Choosing the right levers requires an expert to diagnose the local market, so you aren't guessing in a vacuum. You can continue as a passive seller, accepting unnecessary equity loss, or you can become a strategic seller who targets buyer friction. Navigating a relisted property requires an expert. That is why I'm here as your realtor at Epic Realty. Stop stressing over price cuts. Contact me today to identify the correct strategic levers for your home. Successfully relisting your home comes down to using targeted tools to overcome buyer doubt and protect your final walkaway number.